and welcome back. In this Black Excellist presentation, we want to highlight 20 Black golf pioneers.
Welcome to blackexcellist.com, the site where we share Black excellence, opulence, and affluence. Our mission is to inspire you as we enlighten you.
When most people think of African Americans in golf, they immediately think of Tiger Woods. What many people may not realize is that there is a rich and fascinating history of accomplished African American golfers dating all the way back to 1896. These lesser-known Black golfers and golf innovators had major victories and made significant contributions to the sport. From inventing the modern golf tee to fighting for the desegregation of golf, the golfers on this list made an undeniable impact on the golf world. In this Black Excellist video, we will be featuring 20 African American golf trailblazers. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. John Shippen. Shippen, son of a Black father and Native American mother, was a caddy at Shinnecock Hills, a golf club named after his mother's tribe. When the U.S. Open came to Shinnecock Hills in 1896, Shippen entered. Some of the pros entered in the tournament threatened to boycott if Shippen was allowed to play. Ultimately, the USGA president backed Shippen, the pros backed down, and the tournament went on. Shippen peaked at second place after 2 rounds and ultimately finished in 5th place. He played in several other tournaments, including the 1902 U.S. Open, where he finished 5th. Shippen later worked as a club maker and club professional. However, the PGA of America denied membership to Shippen due to its policy of racial discrimination. In 2011, the PGA of America posthumously made Shippen a member of the PGA. Number 2. Ted Rhodes. Theodore Ted Rhodes of Nashville, Tennessee, was acknowledged as the first African-American professional golfer when he played in the 1948 U.S. Open in Los Angeles, California. He mostly played the African American United Golf Association, or UGA, sanctioned tournaments during his career, winning a fascinating 150 times. In the 1950s, along with Bill Spiller, Rhodes sued the PGA of America, seeking to remove the PGA's Caucasians-only clause. The PGA settled out of court, but did not begin certifying Black golfers as PGA professionals until late 1961. In the 1960s, Rhodes mentored several Black PGA players, including Lee Elder and Charlie Sifford. In 1998, posthumous, Rhodes was inducted into the Tennessee Golf Hall of Fame. Number 3. Bill Spiller. Bill Spiller didn't pick up the game until he was about 30 years old. He started competing and winning Blacks-only amateur golf tournaments during the 1940s. Bill Spiller became a top golfer in the United Golf Association, who spent most of his professional career combating racial segregation and inequalities with the PGA. Spiller joined Ted Rhodes in a lawsuit to end desegregation of the PGA. In 1952, Spiller was invited to play in the San Diego Open alongside boxing champ Joe Louis, but the PGA barred Spiller from entry. In 2009, the PGA of America finally granted him posthumous membership. Number 4. Charlie Sifford. Dr. Charles L. Charlie Sifford, a former caddy, was not only the first African American to play on the PGA Tour established in 1968, he also was one of the most decorated. He notched 2 career PGA wins, with the first being at the 1967 Greater Hartford Open, and the other came during the 1969 Los Angeles Open. He also won the PGA Seniors Championship in 1975, as well as the United Golf Association's National Negro Open 6 times. He was inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame in 2004 and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Obama in 2014. Tiger Woods has acknowledged that Sifford paved the way for his career. Number 5. Calvin Peete. Peete was the most successful African-American golfer on the PGA Tour and made history by winning 12 major tournaments between 1979 and 1986. He led the PGA Tour in driving accuracy from 1981 to 1990. He also won the Varden Trophy for best scoring average on tour in 1984. Peete was inducted into the African-American Ethnic Sports Hall of Fame in 2002. Number 6. George Franklin Grant. George Franklin Grant, a dentist, was the first Black faculty member at Harvard University. He is also credited by the USGA as the inventor of the modern golf tee. In 1899, Grant designed the golf tee that's still in use today, a wooden peg inserted into the ground on which the golf ball is balanced. Number 7. George Adams and Helen Webb Harris. George Adams and Helen Webb Harris founded two important black golf clubs in Washington, D.C., the Royal Golf Club and Wake Robin Golf Club, respectively. Adams and Webb's clubs led to the fight to desegregate D.C.'s public golf courses, which succeeded in 1941. Later, both were involved in anti-segregation lawsuits against the PGA of America, and Adams was among the co-founders of the United Golf Association, the alternative to the then segregated PGA Tour. Number 8. Anne Gregory. Anne Gregory was a frequent United Golf Association tournament champion, and in 1956, she became the first black woman to play a USGA championship at the U.S. Women's Amateur. Despite her success, she faced blatant discrimination throughout her career. In 1959, after the U.S. Women's Amateur, the Congressional Country Club refused to allow Gregory in its clubhouse for the players' dinner. Gregory was runner-up at the 1971 USGA Senior Women's Amateur, and 1 year later before her death, won the 1989 U.S. National Senior Olympics Golf Tournament by 44 strokes. Number 9. William Wright. Wright became the first black USGA champion when he won the 1959 U.S. Amateur Public Links Championship. A year later, Wright won the NAIA Men's Golf Championship playing for Western Washington State College. Wright and his parents fought to desegregate Seattle golf courses for black and Asian golfers. He went on to play in 5 U.S. Senior Open tournaments. Number 10. Peete Brown. When the PGA of America desegregated, Peete Brown, already a United Golf Association tournament champion, got his PGA card in 1963. A year later, he became the first black PGA Tour event winner at the 1964 Waco Turner Open. Brown won once more during his 17-year PGA Tour career when he claimed victory at the 1970 Andy Williams San Diego Open Invitational. Brown went on to spend several years playing the Champions Tour. Number 11. Lee Elder. Lee Elder was the first black golfer in the Masters tournament in 1975. He also played a role in helping to end discriminatory policies on the South African Golf Tour. In 1970, Elder joined Gary Player for a series of exhibitions in South Africa, which in turn helped to open up some tournaments and courses to some black golfers. In 1979, he became the first African American to qualify for play in the Ryder Cup. In 1984, at the age of 50, Elder joined the Senior PGA Tour. Number 12. Bill Powell and Renee Powell. The father and daughter Powells were both pioneers in their own way. Businessman Bill Powell was the first black person to build, own, and operate a golf course in the United States, Clearview Golf Club in East Canton, Ohio, which opened in 1948. Renee Powell was the second black woman to gain LPGA membership. After her tour career, she became a highly regarded teaching professional. She won the Kelly Springfield Open in Brisbane, Australia, and competed in more than 250 professional events. She also became one of the first female members of the Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St. Andrews in February 2015. The Powells were awarded the Jack Nicklaus Golf Family Award by the National Golf Foundation in 1992. Both father and daughter are inductees into the PGA of America Hall of Fame. Number 13. Dewey Brown. Dewey Brown was the first known African American member of the Professional Golfers Association of America, the PGA. Brown was born in 1898, and on September 1, 1928, he became a member of the PGA while working at the Shawnee Country Club. He was also a renowned golf club maker and golf teacher during the 1920s and 1930s, and crafted golf clubs for a number of the nation's leading professionals and statesmen. In 1934, the PGA terminated Brown's membership when they allegedly discovered that he was African American. It wasn't until the 1960s, 30 years after being dropped without explanation, Brown was re-elected to a Class A membership in the PGA. Number 14. Jim Dent. Dent was born in the golf mecca of Augusta, Georgia, home of the Masters tournament, though as an African American, he wouldn't have been allowed onto the Augusta National Course at the time, except as a caddy. Dent turned pro in 1966. During his regular under-50 career, he was Florida PGA champion 3 times. However, he is mainly notable for his success on the Senior PGA Tour, now Champions Tour, where he won 12 tournaments between 1989 and 1998. Number 15. George Johnson. George G.G. Johnson started playing golf during an era when Jim Crow ruled not only the South, but the PGA itself. However, Johnson became a professional golfer in 1964, qualifying for the U.S. Open in 1965. Johnson earned his PGA membership in 1968, allowing him to become one of the first African Americans to do so. In 1971, he won the Azalea Open and became the fourth African American to win a PGA tournament. Johnson played on the PGA Tour for many years, receiving many accolades and blazing a trail across the U.S. at a time when blacks were not typically allowed to even step foot on most golf courses due to segregation. In 2008, Johnson was inducted into the African American Golfers Hall of Fame. Number 16. Charlie Owens. Owens became a professional golfer in 1967 and joined the PGA Tour in 1970. During his 7 years on the tour, Owens won the 1971 Kemper-Asheville Open, a satellite PGA Tour event. The biggest year of his professional career came on the Senior PGA Tour in 1986 when he won twice in 3 consecutive tournaments and finished 8th on the money list. In 1987, he won the Ben Hogan Award and was inducted into the African American Golfers Hall of Fame in 2007. Number 17. Bobby Stroble. Stroble was drafted into the military in 1965 and served in Vietnam before becoming a golf pro in 1975. Stroble has won over 100 state open and mini tour events. He qualified for the PGA Tour 5 times, beginning in 1976, and won such tournaments as the St. Louis Open 3 times, the Missouri Open, and the Oklahoma Open. After joining the Senior PGA Tour in 1995, he won the Nitro Senior Series Tour Championship in 1997. Number 18. Jim Thorp. Jimmy Lee Thorp turned pro in 1972 and won 3 times on the PGA Tour in the mid-1980s. He has surpassed this at senior level by winning over 10 times, including 1 senior major championship, the 2002 Tradition, and making the top 10 of the Champions Tour's career money list in 2004. Number 19. Althea Gibson. Gibson became the first African American to join the LPGA Tour in 1964. She was one of the tour's top 50 money winners for 5 years and made it all the way to 27th on the rankings list at her peak in 1966. She was also a prolific tennis player, having previously broken the color barrier in international tennis and won 5 Grand Slam single titles, including Wimbledon and what is now the U.S. Open in the same year twice. Number 20. Solomon Hughes. Hughes was an elite Minneapolis golf professional and quiet trailblazer who helped to end segregation and restrictions of racial discrimination on the PGA Tour. He was a top player on the African American United Golfers Association, or UGA. Hughes' notable contributions and historic role in golf extended beyond the local circuit to the national front when he challenged the PGA to enter him into the 1948 St. Paul Open tournament. His persistent efforts sped the eventual rescinding of the PGA's white-only clause in 1961. Without fanfare, and as a footnote in history, Hughes teed off on the first day with Ted Rhodes, each playing in a threesome with white golfers in 1952.
We appreciate the fact that you stayed with us until the end. Thank you for spending time with us, and don't forget to like this video. Also, make sure you subscribe so that you never miss a video. Bye for now. We will see you tomorrow.